Another week, and we are back. Smack Top episode number 54 is going down once again, flying solo. I've got a great list of guests lined up for you. We've got the middleweight champion, Brandon Bordeaux, going to be joining me to start off the show. Followed that by another champ in the heavyweight division, Damen DeBell. DeBell is going to be joining me. Last week on here, we had Wes Minna, we had Pono Paul, we had James Seekman. The fireworks flew, took the social afterwards. I mean, go check it if you haven't done so over on Instagram, slap_news on Instagram. Check out some of those posts where we talked about the heavyweight division. Check out the comments and the engagement that took place in there. There's fireworks going at it. There's a lot of excitement in that heavyweight division and the athletes going back and forth with that. That was the same time last week. Like I said, Damen DeBell is going to come on. I know he went through all the comments. He even dropped a couple hints. And so we're going to get his true thoughts, his true feelings about where we sit now after the last Power Slap 12 event and heavyweight matches and how they unshook and unfolded. And hopefully we get a glimpse and an insight as to what he has planned next. So without further ado, we are going to bring in the newly crowned Brandon, the Butcher Bordeaux, your champion in the middleweight division. Brandon, how you doing?
My man, what's up? How are you, Corey?
I'm doing really good. How good does it feel to be the champ?
See the new shirts?
Beautiful.
Yeah,
There's
man,
a little camp going on.
Feels fantastic. You know, the amount of work and everything that I've put in is, it paid off up to this point. So, it feels good. It feels good to be a role model for all the kids. And like I was saying earlier, going down to, I was just down coaching our youth state tournament for wrestling, and seeing all the kids and all the smiles on their faces and all the pictures and all the autographs and everything. It was a good time for sure.
Is it more or less than you thought it would be to represent, to be that role model? And, is it more rewarding or less rewarding, I guess, than you thought when you got back on that plane to head home?
Yeah, it's about what I thought it was. I know what a lot of this stuff comes with. Just, I've studied, the MMA game and stuff for a long time. I've held, amateur titles and stuff like that. Not quite to this magnitude or anything, but it's been amazing. Like I said, being a role model for the kids, and the kids really looking up to you, and then you really got to carry yourself. You got to carry yourself the right way when you have people in general, but let alone kids watching your every move. You can't be out there acting like an ass and doing stupid stuff. So it's a good position to be in for sure.
Absolutely, you can, and I'm sure you're going to be up to the task. I mean, you've represented the sport well even before you became a champion, and so now that you have that belt and you have that accreditation, it's something that they can't take away from you. Now you got it tatted on your arm.
Yeah,
Obviously, you ran that story last night, showing off the new tat. Here, let me put you front and center so everybody.
Yeah, he did a really good job. We're going to add some more stuff in here. We got some more plans with things that are going to go into these gaps and whatnot. So it's, it was definitely one of those things that I actually had planned it. I had it in my head actually before Crazy even went and did it. And then I seen him go and do it. And I was like, oh, great minds think alike. I was like, but you got me on that one. So I had said, even when we were in Saudi in January, I even told Isaiah, I said, when I win that title from you, I said, I'm going to get it tattooed on me. So I told him, right then and there what I was going to do.
For sure.
It's something like that with the accomplishments and whatnot. It's this arm specifically is things that are meaningful to me and accomplishments and stuff like that. And then this is a pretty damn big accomplishment. So it feels good to just go ahead and put it on that arm.
Absolutely. You just brought up Isaiah in Saudi, so I'm going to ask you. I mean, things kind of ramped up. It was kind of inevitable that you guys were going to meet. I want to say there was a little bit of hostility kind of going into it. Saudi, you guys kind of seem buddy. In a lot of ways, we didn't have a lot of, war of words going into your match. Power Slap number 12, obviously, 10 unfold the way that it did. Coming into 12, where's kind of your relationship sitting with Isaiah right now, post, you becoming the champion?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just it's just a competitor's relationship. He's now chasing what I have, and I don't know if I'd really say there's any sort of relationship there. He's been on line running his mouth a little bit, and he's been a little annoying about shit, going on there and trying to say that, at first he was trying to say he hit me in the nose and broke my nose because I flinched, which is a load of shit. I've never flinched. I only have one foul that's a questionable foul in all of my matches. You know what I mean? And coming from the guy that has been hit for flinching more than anybody in Power Slap, trying to say that he hit me in the nose because I flinched, and then tried to say that I put him down because I clubbed him, and so I had to say something to him, and I said, "Have you even watched the fucking film?" I mean, this was just a few days after the match. I was like, "Have you even watched the fucking film?" Because at that point, I had watched the match back 20, 25 times. He's on there running his fucking mouth, and he hasn't even watched the film back. He goes and watches the film, and about 30 minutes later, I get a message. It was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I just whiffed." Yeah, no shit, you fucking whiffed. So it's just dumb shit like that. It's just kind of ridiculous. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You want to say whatever you want to say, and he was trying to say that I had excuses and stuff after December. Well, facts aren't excuses. There's thousands of people. Everybody watching that night, whether you want to admit it or not, knew that shit was stopped early. Everybody knew what was happening. He knew what was happening. I knew what was happening. Everybody else watching, everybody was there, knew what was happening. He knew he was getting his ass whooped. He knew he got saved. You know what I mean? And March 7th just proved that. You know what I mean? It solidified that December, was a joke, and now I whooped his ass twice.
So we're back now. As you said, you took care of business. Have you had any talks with the brass of Power Slap of what's next for you in your career? I know initially we spoke to you. You said, you versus Isaiah 3 was the main thing that was on your mind. Is that still there, or do you see and respect anybody else in that middleweight division right now that could potentially come up and challenge you?
Yeah, I haven't had too many discussions with him. I know I might be going out to coach one of the camps, next month, not April. They might be doing one in May, so I might be going out there for that. But I've got, he got me in the nose pretty good. So actually, right now I'm on a 6-month suspension. So until that's lifted, I've got some appointments and stuff lined up right now to try to, speed things up and get that lifted. But as far as what's next for me is, I don't really care who it is. I said that, I said on the mic that night, I want the next baddest motherfucker in the division. I want the next best guy. And if, Frank and Eric, I think that's Isaiah, then, so be it. I don't know if many people want to see me whoop his ass for a third time in a row. I have seen, other media and other people, kind of said the same thing. Like, I don't know if we want to see that right away. If you run that so quick, if it gets boring or whatever it may be. Everybody knows that I whooped his ass in December, and they know that I whooped his ass again in March. So I don't know, if there's much to see, it's going to be the exact same thing again. But the thing is, it's going to be the exact same way with everybody in the division. So it doesn't matter. We'll just see how things play out, and those decisions are up to Frank and Erica. But I don't care who it is. I want the next best guy. And like I said, if that's Isaiah, then so be it. If it's somebody else, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean, speaking like a true champ for sure. The champ's always willing to go up there and put his title on the line, no matter who it is. Darren Godfrey sitting there at number 3. Obviously, last time we seen him over in Abu Dhabi, took care of the Chief. Then we see the Chief come back at the last Power Slap event, the same one that you were on, take care of business against Wesley Drain. Kind of both of them putting themselves back in that conversation. Do you think those guys could be due for a rematch, kind of sitting there? Or do you think one John Davis or Isaiah, I guess, may, have something to say about that before we see you back up there? I mean, 6 months is a long time. Thanks for clarifying that you're medically suspended for it. So yeah. Any thoughts on some of the other matches that you think kind of in the top 5 that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, hopefully that suspension will be lifted a lot sooner than the 6 months. Like I've got some appointments and stuff lined up, so we're gonna get things taken care of. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tricky situation with Chief and Darren and running a rematch. The whole situation. Darren's had some damn bad flinching problems that haven't been called. That was very evident in the first round against Chief. That was very evident against Merlis. He's got to get that shit under control. You can't be now you're up towards the top of the division. You can't be pushing or get into a title fight. You know what I mean? When those were your last performances. Yeah, he's had a couple good knockouts, but we don't know. He hasn't been hit clean. Like, what I mean? If he wouldn't have flinched, who knows if Chief would have put him out on one shot. You know what I mean? And, the same thing with Merlis. So, yeah, I don't know, exactly what's going to happen there. I don't know if they run that rematch or if, Darren's technically got the one up. I don't know if, maybe he sees John or, potentially Isaiah. I would think, you know what I mean? The storyline there and everything's hot, you know what I mean, with myself and Isaiah. But, you know what I mean? I have ran through, I have ran through him twice pretty easy. And, so the nice thing is there's options. We're not stuck in a position where we were, year and a half ago where John was sitting at the top and there was nobody there. So the nice thing is that there's options, and I plan on taking every one of these guys out. I mean, line them all up. I'm going to take every one of them out. It don't matter who it is.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I know at the last event, there was rumors and speculation that John Davis was going up to light heavyweight. So he may no longer be, in the division for the foreseeable future. I mean, even after, the loss to the Chief, Wesley Drain once again reiterated that he had a desire to go down to 170. So there may be some vacancies coming to the division. Making his debut, though, however, in number 10, were you able to see the live debut, I guess, of Hunter Hassan? Up there at Fontainebleau, and what do you think of him as a prospect in the division?
I didn't get to really see. I didn't see his match. But I did watch. I watched the season and everything though, so I just seen his match on there and stuff. Hunter's a good guy. A really nice guy, cool guy, and he's obviously green and got a lot of work to do. But it's good to see these season 3 guys getting into the rankings and moving up and just giving us more competition and the deeper the division, the better it is. And like I said, a year and a half or so ago, we were in a situation where the division wasn't very deep. There wasn't a whole lot of movement going on. We didn't know what was going to happen. And, Frank and Erica have done a good job at building this division and bringing other guys in. And those guys have done a good job at making a name for themselves and climbing the ranks. And, and now here we are. Like I said, there's a lot of options, and that makes me happy because, you know what I mean? I want to keep going. I want to clear out this division for sure.
Absolutely. Nate Bernard, just asking you, man, for an update on how that nose is doing.
Yeah, so I got a fracture in my nose. Right now, I'm on a 6-month medical suspension, like I was just saying a few minutes ago, but we are working on getting some appointments and stuff. We'll have it all taken care of, and I'll definitely be back before then.
Awesome, my man. We also have I guess retired now, Chin Reaper, also giving you your props, my man.
Yeah, he knows what's up, man. Yeah, I know. It's just that, I work my ass off to get into the positions that I'm in, and I firmly believe that, I mean, look what Isaiah did coming up through the ranks. You know what I mean? He really ran through some guys, and and then I kind of ran through him pretty easily. I think it just kind of speaks volumes to where I'm at right now, and I think I'm levels above the guys in this division, and I've got a hell of a gap on them because of the work that I put in and the work ethic that I have. And I continue to widen that gap every day. You know what I mean? While, I don't just sit around. I don't just sit on my ass. You know what I mean? I'm constantly working every day doing something, to improve myself. I have the whole 1% better every day, or 1% better than yesterday, and I live by that, and I'm constantly improving and constantly getting better. Yeah. And that's shown through all my matches too. I mean, look where I was from, on the show, my first match, you know what I mean, to this last match, and everyone in between. I've improved a ton, and that just speaks to the work that I've put in, and I'm continuing to work my ass off. I'm still, I'm going to stay with my same trainer. Me and Blackburn have the same trainer, James, over there out of Detroit, and I actually just ran over there and seen those guys this weekend as well, and I think he's kind of the secret weapon, in all of this. The workouts he's having me do and the things he's having me do are going to put me on a completely different level. And that just showed in March. Like I said, that match played out the way it did December 6th. And James actually messaged me that night of December 6th. And I was carrying on a conversation with him as I was flying home December 7th, and December 8th, him and I were right to work. And, we haven't let off the gas then. And the stuff he has me doing now is completely based around all the movements and everything that we're doing in Power Slap, and the strength training that we're doing and the technique training that we're doing. And before, when I was doing it by myself, just workout wise, I was doing more of, just bodybuilding splits, which, that was cool. I was getting bigger, stronger and everything else, but I wasn't hitting the things that necessarily needed to be hit muscle wise for, for Power Slap itself. So, getting with him and him already having the experience of working with Blackburn, I think since Blackburn's second match, James has really been able to break things down. He's been, heavily involved in it all. And, You know, when he reached out to me, he said, I really feel like I can be the missing, you know, he says, you're right there after December 6th. He said, you know, in my opinion, you were doing the same thing. You were whooping his ass. And he said, I feel like I can be that, you know, that missing piece to really put you on a whole nother level. And, you know, that's exactly what he's done. You know, like I've said, the strength training that we've done, the technique training that we've done is, you know, it's completely unmatched, and the dedication and drive that I have in all of this it's the same, you know. So him and I mesh really well together. You know, he's kind of the same as me, you know, extremely competitive, hardworking, you know. So it's I had, you know, one or two conversations with him, and I knew that this guy knew what he was talking about for sure. And you know, I'm very honored and very blessed to have, you know, a good team of people around me. And you know, what else can I say about it?
100%, my man. I'm glad to hear you're well. Glad to hear that you're healing. And hopefully you can expedite that 6-month medical suspension. And we'll see you back up there real soon. Appreciate you
Most
joining
definitely.
me here on Smack Talk. I know you're taking a little bit of time off, so enjoy that time away. I'm sure you'll be
Thank you.
mentally focused and ready, and keep on, you know, hitting it hard. So we'll talk to you soon.
We're going on vacation, but we'll still be working every day. So appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Take care, my man. Have a good one.
Thanks, Corey. You too.
There we go, catching up with Brandon, the Butcher Bordeaux, your middleweight champion. And I don't think we get a whole lot of clarity as to who's going to be next. Obviously, the medical suspension is going to hold things back a little bit, but there are some intriguing matchups there in the middleweight division. I think we're going to see some shuffling of the rankings, as we talked about earlier. You know, obviously Isaiah Kiona is still sitting there in that third match. Do the fans want it? Do they not? I don't know. Let us know in the comments, or go over on Instagram and let us know there as well if that's something that you want to see. Or do you think we get somebody like John Davis, Darren Godfrey, or the Chief going up to take on Brandon? And we'll see how it goes. Like we said, Hunter Hassan, new entry into the division. We have some guys there that have been stale a little bit. We haven't seen a little in a couple of minutes. Garrett Grimes, Eddie Rahemer, Brendan Rhodes, 3 guys, you know, rounding out that bottom part of the division that we haven't seen. But the man that needs really no introduction, I think the longest reigning champion in Power Slap, Damen DeBell, is going to be joining me. He's yawning. I got him up late. It's past his bedtime on the East Coast. Damen, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good, man. I see you yawning there. I see you doing the air drums, all kind of stuff while I'm getting over to you.
I'm staying busy, man.
Awesome, dude. How's life been? Are you mentally ready, focused, and you know, preparing every day?
Oh yeah, we've just been working hard, making sure that we're ready for the next match. Really trying to get back into the groove of things. Just waiting to see what opportunity falls in my lap next. But you know, don't want a match like my last fight against DTP to happen again. So, you know, I'm working twice as hard to really knock out my next opponent.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen you have long layoffs, you know, seemingly between all of your matches now. You seem to get up there, whoever they're putting in your way, you're knocking down in, you know, relatively quick succession. Obviously, you know, the DTP went the distance, you know, improved, you know, the type of competitor that he is. You know, there's some rumors and speculation about DTP rematch kind of swirling around. Do you think that makes sense?
I mean, I don't think it really makes sense. He did beat Pono, so in that sense, it makes sense because he got the win. But it really wasn't a performance that they look for in a contender. But I personally really want the rematch. So everyone that wants to yell out Power Slap, hit up the brass, complain on my behalf, let's get this rematch started.
I mean, are you a little envious? He gets to fight you, then he gets to fight Pono. He gets back to you. That's 3.
Yeah, I'm over here waiting on the sidelines, watching everyone else in my division get back-to-back fights. Like, man,
Yeah,
just put me in there.
absolutely. Not sure if you had a chance to watch last week's episode of Smack Talk. Fireworks flew. You know, a lot of people, West Minna brought the heat. We had Pono Paul on here as well. You know, we heard a little bit from Aaron Turner in there. Nate Bernard is always in the comments. Good dude. You know, we've got some new entries in the heavyweight division, obviously coming out of the show. Going to Power Slap number 12. We really had, you know, 4 kind of horses. We had the big 3, James Seekman, Pono Paul, as well as Aaron Turner, who obviously was on the show. And then we had Wes Minna as well. So those 4 cats, new entries into the division. What have you seen of those guys now from the last couple of live events? And, you know, if you had to pick one at this moment, who do you think has the brightest future ahead in the heavyweight division?
Honestly, out of any of them, I'd probably pick Pono. I feel like he put up a great fight against DTP. I mean, there's definitely some things he could work on, and I actually posted a video about it today. First long form content I've done myself, reviewing the last two heavyweight matches and really going in depth with me and Dwayne, just talking about what they could improve on, what we saw during the match, things like that. But overall, I think Pono is the next person in line that at least deserves a contender match.
Okay, so even coming off the loss, you think he showed you enough that he's going to be able to rise above the likes of James Seekman, Wes Minna, Aaron Turner?
Oh yeah, I think if he really fixes up a couple things with his technique, I think he's going to be a force to reckon with in the heavyweight division. Wes and James and Aaron Turner. Aaron Turner over here flinching every match. He got a lot to work on. James is fucking James. Uh, Wes, I'd love to see Wes. He's been doing a lot, but he is the lightest one in the heavyweight division. Light heavyweight, he'd absolutely dominate, but I don't know how he's going to do against guys like me and DTP when it comes to just having that 30-pound weight gap.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, even James Seekman posted up today. I think he's down at around the 230 as well. He had some health issues and stuff that obviously kept him out of the last Power Slap event. So he seemed to drop down to the middle of that division as well. We seen him last week with the shaved head and everything. He's got a whole new look on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
another guy that's aggressively dropping weight, and I haven't heard from him in a little bit because I know he's incredibly focused. But the Crazy Hawaiian, I'm hearing he's down now around 280.
Oh, that quickly?
So that
That's
quickly,
insane.
my man.
I mean,
So he's taking this
he's
really
serious.
serious. We're talking 15 pounds away from making that heavyweight division. Would you welcome him down there? And do you think he gets an automatic shot at the title, or do you think he needs to work his way up?
I think just because of who he is and the name recognition, they're going to give it to him. I think it would be in his best interest to get one fight beforehand just to work out the kinks. He just dropped a lot of weight. You won't want to rush into a championship fight when you're not ready for it. But if they offer me that fight as my next fight and we gotta go next month, I'm ready for it.
Awesome, man. I mean, yeah, he's definitely working hard, dedicated at it. We'll see how the change in weight and the biomechanics change. Is he still able to hold on to a lot of that, the power that he had with the technique that he had, or is it all going to be kind of changed and make such a drastic change so fast? We're going to see how that's going to affect him. But looks like we got someone in the green room here, Mr. Ding, doing a little magic for me in the production room. We're going to bring him in. One, Mr. Aaron Turner. We had Aaron, and he left.
He got scared.
He got scared. Yeah, you have that kind of
what?
What's that?
He just flinched on the stream. That's crazy.
I guess so.
Oh Lord.
He's back now. Let's bring him back on. Aaron, what's going on?
Hey, what's good, man? What's good, DeBell? How you doing, bro?
Doing good as always.
You guys doing all right? Aaron, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it, man. Oh, I've been listening. All right. But, just like DeBell said, just got to work on the flinching a bit. I mean, that's just one of the biggest things. And, from my loss, I'm kind of just needed to be more focused mentally. But regardless, the outcome, West won fair and square. And, I just got to continue to work and I'll just work my way up. So it's all about just taking in the coaching that you can and the experience from some of these guys in the division is all it is. So, I can see myself up there, but just got to keep working.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just you made mistakes, got to learn from them, move forward, keep going.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, the champ. I don't know if you broke down Aaron's fight versus Wes with Mr. Dwayne Crespo, but if you could give him any tips, any advice, anything that you think he should have changed?
Whenever you're swinging, the biggest thing I saw was just take a little step back, make sure you're measuring properly. It seemed like you were standing right up on him, like you weren't really able to swim because you were standing like right up on the podium. And hold your head still. That's very helpful in sport. It's about the two biggest things that we saw in your match. Like we really didn't get to see much from your fight because your swings weren't really there, and you weren't really taking any of the hits properly. So it was kind of a wash. So just go back, review all this, and you'll be good.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just I felt like my swing was a little bit different from my first one. Just shorter opponent. You got to get used to making adjustments like that. Obviously,
Oh yeah.
With the flinching thing, I mean, it's just confidence in the chin. In your head, you see guys knock people out. You're like, man, don't get knocked out. But then when you get in your head, you start flinching, and it's just, that's just things just to work on. But stuff like that, I think are easy fixes I can do, and just continue to work. That's all you can really do.
Oh yeah. It's simple stuff that you need to work on and improve on, but the first step is admitting that you were wrong and knowing where to improve and just improve off of there.
Without a doubt.
Fuck fucking Nate.
So funny. We got actually Nate Bernard in here holding down that number 2 spot, saying, "Why does Aaron and myself all look like distant cousins?"
Oh my lord, we really do look like just lost family members.
Someone said me and Ellis look alike, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Bro, in Abu Dhabi, a fan came up to me and asked for an autograph, thinking I was Nate, and that was that was.
Oh
hilarious to
no, that's horrible. That's terrible disrespect. I don't know how to take
rough.
that.
I was like, all right. You know what? Maybe I'll just go home. This is
Right.
it for me.
Yeah,
No, but
Nate's
I
definitely
always.
more stardom than you, buddy.
Oh yeah. Shoot. But yeah,
Awesome,
no,
man.
just been working every day, just getting ready for my next opportunity. This is kind of a setback a little bit. It's my first loss, and just continuing to do better and just work my way back up the rankings. It's my redemption is basically what I call it. I got to be more focused and not flinch. So
Yeah.
that's all I can really do.
For sure. Aaron, let me ask you, if you were to critique DeBell's first match against Dorian, what would you say?
Don't close.
I think honestly, I think DeBell kind of like hit it on the nail a little bit. Just a little bit better defense. Like he mentioned. Other than that, like he has a solid swing. It's very unique. I've seen it over 100 times. It's worked out in his favor very, very well. So his strike is there. I still feel like DeBell has a chin, but I just think when you finally meet someone that kind of matches your intensity, like it just. It was a good match. It was an overall good match. So like, the second one's going to be, fun to watch. And I couldn't think of anybody else than DDP to take on Damian. So it's going to create fireworks. It's going to be great.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exciting when I knock him out. It's gonna go crazy.
I know you always go for the first shot being a knockout. So that's exciting. And once that's done, whoever he goes against next, but I'm telling you right now, you're going to see me up there. You're going to see me up there for sure.
Absolutely. I'll ask both of you. Aaron, if you want to go first, what do you guys think of kind of the, the animosity or the beef that's currently going on in the division?
Honestly, when it comes down to it, it's just conspiracy with the season 3 house. It's just what I feel like is what it is. Wes is 4-0. He's in the spot that he is because, he's just been dominant. He's been doing all the right things. I heard some words were said, in, the last live that you had, which I think obviously someone took, offense to. I didn't think it was anything bad by any means, but it's just, some energy coming to a heavyweight division. We've been talking about the light heavyweight division, and now it's the heavyweights' turn to like really just create some fireworks. So some people say some shit, the way that it is. So I kind of just sit back, kind of laugh it off, have some popcorn ready to go, and just kind of just see how it goes. It's just drama going on. I think it's mostly the season 3 guys. And
yeah,
sure enough,
it's funny as hell.
It is like, and it's funny because most of them are in the top 5. So it's really creating a lot of drama going on. So that's just their deal.
Hey, it's drawing view, bringing that excitement into the sport. I ain't gonna be talking shit, so let everyone else do it for me, and I just eat whoever wins those fights. It works out perfectly.
DeBell, I know you were in the
fun.
comments.
It's going to be, the heavyweight division's really taken off. Is the thing too. It's switched up a lot. There's a lot of new talent coming in, and just guys that are experienced. Like it's just fun matchups. Like honestly, they're just dream matches that I feel like that are going to be coming up. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's still to be untold as it kind of unfolds. And I think, anytime that we're talking about it this much, the engagement, the comments, the passion that goes behind this. I think it fuels the excitement, it fuels the energy. And I think it leads to the storylines. I think in a lot of ways, coming out of Power Slap number 12, Chris Thomas and, Anthony Blackburn squaring offside match. Like, Power Slap needs more of that. Like, let's be real. It needs a lot more of that type of entertainment coming in to the sport. And so I actually like seeing what happened the last past week here. The people talking, the calling out for matches, who do they want, who they don't want, calling on Erica, calling on Frank, making stuff happen. Like, all of that, I think really, bodes well for the future and really makes things interesting and exciting for guys that are looking for matches. Obviously, we don't know when Power Slap number 13 is going to come up next. If it's going to be, International Fight Week, or if we're going to get something sooner. But obviously, there's a limited amount of, fights, usually 8 fights on the main card itself, and everybody trying to vie to get on that. So it'll be interesting to see. And right now, it's seemingly the other guys are getting more love than you are, Mr. Bell.
Oh, yeah. Just waiting for my turn. That's all good.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely hard to do when you sit back. I mean, you've been a champ. I know you've got 3 belts, I think, in your possession now.
Yeah,
and you
3
keep
belts.
on racking up victories every time you're there. So I appreciate you, my man, joining and
No problem.
catching up with you and everything. So much love, my man. Much respect. And we'll catch you hopefully up there at the table again sometime soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me on, man.
All right, dude. Take care. See ya.
Peace.
Aaron.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, my man?
I'm good. Corey, how you doing, man?
Good. You driving or you parked?
I'm parked. I'm stationary, man.
Okay.
All good.
Awesome, dude. So obviously the dust kind of settled here. Power Slap number 12. You know what you did wrong, I guess, against West at this point. How you mentally focusing, preparing for the next time you're up there to rewrite that script?
I think honestly it's just all mental focus. The crowd wasn't really an issue or anything like that. It's just the opponent that I was going against. I know I was going against an experienced guy. There's definitely, a high difference. Me and Wes really came into it, I wouldn't say like ready to fight each other, but I think like we were physically and mentally just ready to go. So the height difference really made it, huge, especially, with Wes having to change his swing. And, I changed my swing just due to not wanting to foul. And I think, Wes really performed well. And he won fair and square. So that's, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No excuses on my end. Just the thing I've mostly been focusing on is just mental focus, continuing to work, bring some violence. I wish I brought a little bit more violence. But, at the end of the day, like we're both competitive people and we brought the violence. So just moving forward, just getting ready for my next matchup, whoever it is. I'd really like to take on Zakir. Just experience-wise and everything, I think we kind of match very well. In 6 and 7 spot, I know a lot of people believe he doesn't deserve to be in that spot, but I know he's working hard to really get down his technique and everything, just like what I'm doing, and I think it'd just be a good matchup for the both of us.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, why Zakir? Well, what did you think of his debut, actually? Let me ask you that then.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are kind of speculating, his strike and everything, saying that it's a club, but they gave him a win for it, and now he's above me, so obviously there's things I don't like about it, but it is what it is on paper. I want to welcome him to, the heavyweight division, to the rankings, and I'm going to bring him on my redemption tour.
Absolutely. I mean, in a lot of ways, do you think him and, Wes Minna actually kind of have some similarities?
Zakir and Wes?
Yeah.
Wes brings the violence. He brings the intensity. And, like you mentioned, he's undersized compared to the other heavyweights. So, in some ways, it's a disadvantage, for Zakir. I think, what is he, 6'3", maybe 6'2", 6'3", but he's built. He's very, very well built, like a Nate Bernard built a little bit. Strong dude. That's something that I love. I think just the similarities from him and Wes. Wes just brings the intensity. He brings the violence, and he just comes with a game-ready attitude. I think Zakir, haven't shared the same room with him or anything like that, but, I just don't see the intensity from there. I think he just comes in. He knows that he's bigger than you, and he just expects you to fold, I think. So I think if you were to come up to somebody like me, that's going to be different. He's going to have to look up just a little bit more and realize there's much harder for him to just look past me. So I think that's something, he's going to find out real quick.
For sure. I mean, we've been talking about it all show about these new guys coming in. I want to get your thoughts. If they were to run West versus Pono, how do you think that match would go?
Just based off everything that's been going on, it's going to be a wild matchup. I think that's something everybody wants to see. I know he wanted Nate Bernard, bodyguard versus bodyguard. I think that creates fireworks. And then now I think with the animosity that's going on, Pono and West, I think would be a great matchup. I still think it should be West and Nate Bernard just due to the rankings. And, obviously being 4-0. But I would have no issue with Pono and West. I mean, that's a match I'd physically would want to be at wherever it is, whether if it's, in the U.S. or internationally. I'd be there. That's a match you don't want to miss.
How do you think it would go? Who do you think's victorious?
Oh, man, you can't ask me that question. You can't ask me that question. Oh, man. I'm just going to say, I guess you'll just have to wait and see. I got no comment on that.
All right, you're pleading the fifth, but I thought there was rumors speculating that you wanted Nate Bernard, not West.
I did, but I think it could, honestly, if I had it my way, I would want to go against West again. But he won. He earns his right to be in arm's reach of the title right now, which is something that he's doing. He's really within arm's reach, so I think it's only fair that he's all the way up there. I'm at where I'm at. I have to work my way up if I want a rematch, but I would definitely love to go against Nate Bernard. I think another bodyguard versus bodyguard, football player versus football player, physiques and everything like that. He's 6'4", 6'5", belt right on the dot of 265. I'm a little bit on the dot of 265, 6'7". I think that also create fireworks as well. I think it'd be a good match. And, redemption for both of us. People talk about his, 3 losses, consecutive losses. Honestly, the last match was his hugest improvement, and who knows what this next match is going to be for him. I think it's going to be a bigger improvement for him. And, that's something where I'm trying to be at. So I think that'd be a perfect matchup as well.
Yeah. Well, since you squirmed your way out of that one, I'm going to ask you another one. If West and James were to run it back again, do you think there's a different outcome this second time around?
I think with experience, absolutely. I think just with both of them, they were new to the sport. It was their first ever match. And, James lost just due to a step. Something minimal, but I mean, he still lost. That's the rules. And West won. And West has skyrocketed just as much as James has. West has knockout power, as you've seen. And James, can compete very well, and he has a very good chin. So I think, it would definitely be a different outcome with the both of them. But I think, a fight like that, there's got to be some marks and bruises at the end of it. I don't see it being, quick.
We got Bryce Jones in here saying that you and him should square up there.
I wouldn't be against. I wouldn't be against it either. Brian Ellis was ranked 4th, and he gave me an opportunity. He didn't know who I was. I know a little bit of who Bryce is, and he's being overlooked. I think he should get a match. Whether if it's me, Brian Ellis, or Cooper Housley. I know Darius is now back on the top 10. I think any of those matchups for him will be good. Whatever Erica and Frank have for him, but
That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Bryce was at number 10 at one point. Obviously, Darius back in the mix. Haven't heard much rumors or speculation of Darius coming back in the power slap. So, but what why do you think Bryce Jones is getting looked over? I mean, I think it's safe to say he's probably not in favor right now. What do you think it is?
I don't know. I really don't know what it is. It's kind of hard to overlook somebody that is 2-0. I don't know if it was based off the opponents he went against. I don't know if that's something they feel like, wasn't enough. I don't know what it is. I think he's been very overlooked. And in fact, actually, when James had to drop the match due to the medical reasons, I thought he was going to be the next guy up because, I mean, we're in Las Vegas. He's lived in Las Vegas. That's like the easiest call you can make, but they gave me Wes, and I'm still not upset about that matchup because I learned a lot from it. But, I wouldn't be against, going against Bryce. I know I called out Nate first. I hope that goes through. If that doesn't happen, then Seekman, and then if they want to give me Bryce, I'll take Bryce. I got no issue with it. I don't dodge the smoke from anybody. I'll take on anybody, anytime, anywhere. You know, I'm not that type of guy to be like, he's not ranked, he's below me, I don't want him.
For sure. You know, I'm just talking with Bordeaux, before I'm not sure if you caught that part of the show or not, but he talked about getting with Anthony Blackburn's striking coach out of Michigan, and he credited him with a lot with changing, his strike for his second time up against Isaiah. I know you're out there in Portland. I mean, I guess you have Slapdog there, but there's not a lot of strikers here on the West Coast in your kind of neck of the woods. Is there anybody that's kind of helping you right now? Have you reached out to anybody? Are you looking at kind of changing your game up at all to try to maybe bring a little bit more power on the offensive side of things and even maybe potentially change some of your defensive stuff at this point?
Yeah, I definitely have. I've definitely thought about reaching out to James as well out of Michigan. Like, I'll make that commute out there, like whatever tips I can take to bring back to Oregon. But as of right now, just film, kind of working on what I've been working on. I mean, I'm ranked number 7. I'm 1-1, so I like the position that I'm in right now, because now it's like we want to see what Aaron Turner's about. We're going to see if he's willing to rise up, or if he's just going to stay the same, or he's going to decline in the sport. And I know with my abilities and the skills that I have, I know I can make a big difference in this division. So right now it's just taking time to work on the technique. Physically, like, I'm always ready for any matchup. And so just from here on out, just continuing to work on the technique and getting better. That's all really I can do. I just hope that I perform better and better every single time I step on stage.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you're still young in the sport. Obviously, you've got brighter days ahead still, and so we'll see the evolution now. As you go on, obviously very early on in your career, and looking forward to seeing that continue to move. And this, seemingly exciting heavyweight division now that seemed to get ratcheted up here. Some beef, some animosity, some more words, whatever you want to call it, over the last week, and some people taken to social to voice their either pleasures or displeasures. But I think it's great for the sport overall. And as I said before, I think more of these storylines and more of this animosity. And in a lot of ways, Power Slap has been unique in that way, where these athletes were friends with each other. They're outside smoking a blunt outside of the hotel, and they fight each other that night, and then they're drinking a beer afterwards. It's very different than MMA or boxing, and starting to kind of create some of these opportunities where guys are kind of starting to be rivals now. And I think it's good for it, whether you want to call it that, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, or, Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. I think kind of bringing some of that entertainment side to the sport, I think is nothing but a positive thing. Would you agree?
Absolutely. You're seeing a couple heel turns a little bit, it kind of seems like. But yeah, like you mentioned, there's a lot of guys, on the roster, and some in the same division where some of us are pretty close, some of us are not, or sometimes it's all about mutual respect. I'm obviously not going to elaborate who I'm close with, but there's guys in the heavyweight division that I've been talking to. There's some I talk to like once in a while, or once every month. But I know when it comes down to it, getting on stage, it's we're here to take each other's heads off. And at the end of it, I hope, we could be sportsmen and we can shake hands, whatever, get a drink afterwards or whatever. So that's all I'm really here for. And obviously I'm here to, work my way up to a title fight. That's all I'm here for. I'm here to dominate. I'm here to get my redemption. And, since my last match, that's all I've been focused on.
100%, my man. Couldn't agree any more with you. It's funny. I still think there's this mystique around you that not a lot of people know who you are. So let's kind of get in some rapid fire questions here. All right.
All right.
What's your college team of choice for football?
Oh, college team of choice. Damn. I grew up an Oregon fan, honestly. Just going to Autzen Stadium, going over there, just the atmosphere, the way that it was, like, I've always wanted to go there, but they only offered me a partial. They didn't give me a full ride, so I was just like, I want to go somewhere I can play. I don't want somewhere I could sit. So ended up going the D2 route, dominated there, got first team all conference there multiple years, did well, got other accolades. So definitely gotta
came
go
to Canada.
Canada. Yep, came to Canada. Definitely an experience over there. But yeah, definitely that. It's definitely been an experience over there. But yeah, that'd be my college team of choice, U of O.
Kind of talking like the ugly stepchild right now. Does political influence have to do with that?
No, nothing like that. Never that.
Yeah, so you're up here in BC. Obviously, the Lions got to be your favorite CFL team, right?
Nope. Sorry. Nope, not them. Nope. Definitely was a Toronto fan going up there a little bit. The Argonauts.
Okay.
Yeah, so gotta go a little bit near the up north a little bit.
Gotcha, little Doug Flutie action.
Yeah, definitely my guy watching the growing up.
Absolutely. NFL, where do you go there? Since there's not a team in Portland.
Minnesota Vikings. Randy Moss was my favorite player growing up. So
awesome, man.
Definitely had me.
Your favorite cheat meal that you'd have on a weekly basis?
Ooh, weekly, that's a little excessive. This is like once a month type deal. Shoot, I'm a sucker for sushi. I'm a big sucker for sushi.
That's a cheat meal? Raw fish and rice?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I know if I do it every week, man, I'd probably be 300, 400 pounds. I'd be a super heavyweight at this point. If I kept it up week, it'd become an everyday thing. But yeah, no, I love me some sushi. Definitely love some shrimp in there. Definitely love some tuna. Gotta get some greens in that. Like it's, put some spicy mayo on the side too. I think that's my cheat meal right there.
How many pieces of sushi can you eat?
Oh God.
Have you gone? Is there all you can eat sushi in Oregon?
Yeah, no. Oh, in Oregon, there's all you can eat sushi, like without a doubt. Next time you're in town, we gotta go to one. But yeah, no. The most rolls I ate about. I think I ate like 8 rolls one time, and there's like in a whole line of it, there's 12. I ate 8 of them. No warm up, no nothing, no water. I was just set to go to just kill some sushi. So sushi's my thing.
Awesome, my man. I got someone waiting here, actually. Security versus security. Is it becoming a
thing? What's happening?
Hey, this is my brother right there, man.
Yeah, my dog. I'm telling you, why? How come DeBell, you and me all look like distant cousins, man?
I don't know, man.
Power Slap is about. I'm telling you, Power Slap's about to recruit another light skin. It's gonna be the 4th of us.
They keep putting me against light skins too. I don't get it. Like first it's Brian, and then I was supposed to get him against Seekman. He got sick, and then they gave me West, and I kind of had to look at him and be like, "This isn't right. This isn't right." Like, and now we're calling you out, man.
What's up? How are you? Good.
We gotta do a DNA test or something.
Dude, it's sickening, bro.
What? I think it just goes to show that Nate changed the game. Nate changed the way that they recruited. I think I've said it on record on this show many, many times. So I think kind of the blueprint of that, scholar, Division I, Division II football player kind of thing.
Yeah.
Athletic, I think really changed the mold. Wouldn't you agree, Nate?
No, I'm not bullshitting. Like when I first finished my first match against Stevie Ray Payne, and then I went to go watch it back in the 290 weigh-in show and to see how they were talking about it. They're just like, I think this is, and I think it was I think it might have been Bisbing too. He's just like, I think this is what Power Slap wants to bring is more of these athletic build type guys, right? And no discredit to anyone in other divisions. Maybe you're not, clearly you're not heavyweights and stuff like that, and you don't have to be a bodybuilder or some bitch, but to be athletically inclined, to do this. And I know, granted, yeah, I'm on a I'm on an 0-3 streak, and it sucks and it hurts, but it kind of it drives me wanting to push more. And I wanted to tap in and touch something really quick about Bryce Jones. Bryce Jones, a big reason I was spitting in the chat. A big reason why I think he's getting underlooked is because not only is this a race for the title and folks are, we're going matches and trying to get each other boom, boom to get to the title. But also too, this is a business. This is a media game. So if you're not promoting yourself or having someone do that for you, you're going to get kind of washed away. You know what I'm saying? And so like being able to, when you're out there, not stay idly by and ducked off, but connect. And, it's all about networking and talking with people. I know DeBell, for one, he's always ducked off and does his own thing, but he has all rights to do so because this man has established that he's number one. He's established that he's the greatest of heavyweights right now. So for Bryce Jones, it's just a little tip and be like, yo, I'm just trying to share some free game with you. I'm like, yo, it's a media game. Promote yourself. Put shit out there. If you got problems with someone, say something publicly. And so, like, it works like that way. Not saying that you do, Bryce, but I'm just trying to help.
All right, Nate. Well, here's the thing, dude. You're ranked number 2, all right? So I'm
Yeah.
going to give you an opportunity to promote yourself here. So I'm going to let you host the show, and I'm going to duck out, okay, my man?
Oh, you want me to host the show? Shit. Oh,
Oh no!
well,
Yes,
well,
sir.
well.
What's
Damn!
happening?
Look who it is.
What's up, you
Little,
guys? What's going
what's up,
on?
Oh
little? What's up,
boy!
little man? You all right?
Little man, it's big boom to
Little
you, my guy. Big
What's
boom.
boy!
up, little man? You all
Big
right? What?
boom, baby.
So what's up? You want some smoke or what's up,
I
man?
want all the smoke, my guy. I want all the smoke.
No
All the
problem.
smoke.
Come to the dispensary.
I love it. What's up, baby? Hey,
Man,
Nate,
chilling.
what you were saying, bro, I completely agree, bro, with what you were saying about people need to promote themselves. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
have to.
You see Jay, you see excuse me, Bryce over there 2-0. You know, I see he's working, you know, but he
Mm-hmm.
like you said, you gotta promote yourself. So I want
Indeed.
him to go. I'd love to see Bryce versus Aaron Turner. Aaron, I feel like that's right up your alley. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't fought in a while. You're, you know, most recent. That'd be a great fight I'd like to see. You know, but
Dude,
yeah, man, it's
he's
just
2-0 and to be honest, I get where he's thinking of like people are like, oh, people are shitting on me because I'm 2-0. No, bro, that's huge. Being
yeah,
2-0, that's amazing, bro. Like who can say that they're 2-0, no defeats or whatever. And
yeah.
so for him, now it's just a promotion game. And I've got nothing wrong with Bryce Jones. Never even met the guy, but based on what I've seen on media, seems like a real solid dude, man. And so
Yeah.
like I'm excited to see where he's gonna go with it. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, man. I can't wait. And man, it's just the future of the heavyweight division looking good, y'all. You know, big ups to you guys. Nate, you know I want that smoke. Aaron, you like the future, bro. Just keep working, bro. I believe in you, man. You gonna go far, bro. Just keep working. And you know, I'm not judging no smoke, whether it be Pono, James, you know, Nate. I don't care. Whoever Erica puts on that contract, I want all the smoke. And
so I know. Real quick, let me interrupt you. So now I know that there's a lot of clearly, as Corey and Ding have talked about in Slap News, that there's a lot of there's some beef. You and Pono from last week, and then clearly a lot of us guys, Aaron, a lot of us guys saw, in the freaking Slap News comment feed a lot of beef and a lot of issues. Would you, Wes, say that you would want to face Pono next, or what?
I mean,
Where are we going with this?
I can say whoever I want to go against at the end of the day. That's Erica, you know, matchmaker decision. I'll
Mm-hmm.
say I want Pono. I'll say I want James. I'll say I want you. It don't even matter
Right.
because at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
I can say whatever I want to say, but that doesn't mean it's gonna happen. So whoever shows up on that contract when Erica sends that email, hey, it's all up from there. I don't give a
Okay.
fuck. You know, it's
Okay.
it is what it is, bro. I just hate how, you know, I know how I am as a person. I'm a good individual. I'm a solid human being. You know, I feel like feelings were hurt last
Mm-hmm.
episode, you know, and we could see that. And I felt like a lot of real true colors came out of, you know, some people, you know, and I'm just here and I'm gonna expose them and I gotta do what I gotta do, bro, because I'm gonna keep the ball rolling. I feel like, you know, I'm right there. You know, I'm getting better every match I get. Every match I get, I'm getting better, fam. And it's just like, I don't care who it is. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Bodyguard versus bodyguard. Freaking Clown versus, you know, Big West. Fucking James. Fucking, you know, Pono. You know, I don't care who it is, bro. I'm ready to work. I've been putting in the grind 2 days a week, bro. Oh, and I just seen that. Hey, I was just over there, American Top Team. I'm over here, you know, spreading the
Yeah.
word of Power Slap, the awareness of Power Slap. You know what I'm saying? We're getting bigger, you know, and we need to spread that awareness, bro.
So real quick, I
American
see.
Top Team's solid, bro. I got one in
You,
Portland. I go there like every single day, bro.
shit,
It's
I ain't got that in Buffalo. We ain't that nice. Hey, but real quick before I bounce, so two things. One thing, Slap News also has just said who's the best bodyguard. Clearly, all of us are gonna say ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna leave it. For me, I'm just gonna say we're gonna leave it at that. I guess we'll see when we get up there. Number two, though, as it was mentioned earlier in the broadcast and everything, this is what Power Slap has evolved into a new realm, right? It's evolved into a new realm of I have never seen, because everyone's cordial and buddy buddy. No
Yeah.
one has done. We didn't see the freaking KO Chris and Blackburn face stare off. You know what I'm saying? Folks haven't done that before. We are in a new era, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Everyone that's tuning in and tapping in, we're in a different era now. So it is blood. It's a dog eat dog world.
Yeah.
So now it's time to get it.
Yeah, so like whoever I go against step on stage, bro, I'm gonna bring that intensity. I'm gonna bring that animalistic nature out of me, bro. Like I'm done being with that buddy buddy bullshit. That I love you, brother. No, I'm not doing that shit no more. We're not doing that no more. So it's just like, bro, you kill what you hunt. You hunt what you kill. You know what I'm saying? And I'm ready to go, bro. I'm just like fuck all that brother shit, bro.
Hey, bro,
I'm
with
lit
that
now.
with that spotlight on, it's a different game between the lines, man. You're here to compete. You're here to take your other brother's head off, man. Like that's just the way it is. And at the end of it, handshake, whatever. We did our business. We handled it. We're done.
That's
just the way that it is. No ifs, ands, or buts. Whatever. It's done. Over with.
I couldn't staple a better example. Me and Stevie Ray Payne. Shout out Stevie, I love you, boy. Me and him didn't know each other. We were still new to the shit. And as soon as we get up there, we knew what it was about. We knew it was time to rock out. And then boom, right after, drinking beers, we were fine. Because that's what it is. It's competition, man. Like I'm cool with all of you boys right here.
Yeah.
But when it's time to get up there, we
This
gotta go.
business is business, baby.
We gotta
Business
go.
is business. That's the way it is, man. That's the way it is.
That's the way it is. But gentlemen, please enjoy the rest of the night. Corey, I'm gonna bring it back to you. Guys, be easy.
All right.
We can't hear you, Corey. We can't hear you.
Turn that mic up, my boy.
Can't hear you.
Oh, well, helps if I turn the mic on, doesn't it?
There we go.
There it is. There you go.
Awesome. We even got the bell in here trolling you guys now, saying that you need a hug, Wes.
Oh man.
Oh.
Hey,
boy.
if it gets me closer to that title, hey, I'll do it.
100%. Why Pono block West? What is it? What does that mean?
Huh?
Do we know it's why Pono block West?
Yeah, because he's a sensitive ass female. Fucking blocking. You have James over there freaking, saying all types of stuff to different people, and you don't see him blocking people. Why you gotta talk shit behind when you block me? That ain't solid. That's a female trait.
Awesome. So we're talking IG.
Yeah. IG. Yeah. He blocked me. It's all cool.
Gotcha. Aaron, who's on your block list? Do you have a list you want to show us?
No, I just don't. I'm not petty like that. I think just my pettiness comes from my intensity. Like I said, I'm never disrespect, nothing like that. I think it's actually funny. When I was watching Wes walk out of his entrance, we was just barking at each other, man. It's that intensity fire is all it is. Like I said, as soon as you step on stage, when you get in between the lines, there's no friends.
It's go time.
It is. It's go time. That's just the way it is. Locked in, ready to go. And at the end of it, it's just mutual respect as it is. We gentlemen, that's the way we do it. So, some people aren't like that, which I think is petty as fuck. But, you can't change people's outcome. You can only just focus on yourself. Focus on the man in the mirror. That's it.
That's it.
So
100%.
But I want that rematch. But I know I gotta work my ass off even more to be up there to do it again.
Let's get it,
West.
baby.
I love the energy. I loved going against West. I was glad I was able to get a match. I'm not gonna speak more on it. West is arm's reach of getting the title, which I hope he gets that. And then for me, I just gotta build the ground up like I did before. So that's just the way it is.
And then my whole thing is that Aaron Turner, he's a guy that you have to really prepare for because he's tall. So you guys in the heavyweight division, be prepared to, go swing up high to the sky because this guy is tall and you have to game plan, man. It's not gonna be easy as people think. So much respect to Aaron, and your future's bright, bro. And keep doing what you're doing and just keep coming.
Yep. Just the only thing is I ain't gonna flinch on the next ones. I can promise
There
you
you
that. I
go.
ain't
There
gonna
you go.
flinch
Just
on the
learn from it.
next one, bro. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
because you have a freaking brick of a head. Because you freaking fucked me up right here, bro. My
Honestly, if you go back and see the first swing, and you hear it, it almost sounds like Barry Bonds hitting his last home run is what it sounds like. Just a big bop, and I was like, I'm surprised he didn't break his hand on that one. And like I said, I had never tried to hurt nobody like that, never some dirty tricks, nothing like that. But you could tell Wes brings the violence in those swings, man. So it's the way it is, man. So I mean, I appreciate Wes for taking the match, bringing the
yeah,
intensity. No bullshit. He keeps it real, and that's what I like in somebody that's ready. So that's I condemn that a lot. So I think we match each other's energy without a doubt.
yeah, most definitely.
So
Appreciate you.
for sure.
Awesome, boys. I mean, it's great doing these round circles. I don't know. You guys let us know in the chat whether you like them or not. I think it's made for an entertaining week and one that's put a lot of people in center focus. And
Yeah,
I think the brass of Power Slap are taking note. I've had some some conversations with some different people, and I think in a lot of ways, like we said, this is good for the sport to continue with this type of energy and excitement. So we'll just keep on rolling. I know you're working hard, Aaron. So I'm gonna let you run. I'll catch
All
up
right,
with Wes here for a second.
for sure.
I see one Ding's doing a little producing now. He's asking Wes what went wrong with Pono, but we'll send you off, dude. Take care, and
Perfect
we'll
timing. I
see you
was like, I
backstage.
gotta bounce. Corey, I appreciate you. Wes, all love, my guy. Keep working,
love.
keep being great, and bring that title home, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Take care. All right, we're back, my man.
Yes, Corey.
So, should we address the elephant in the room?
I mean, Corey.
What went wrong?
I mean, it's self-explanatory, man. If people could see the comments and everything, my whole thing is I felt like he was sensitive about what I said. I said DTP made him look like a child. That's what I said. It is not that deep. It was just something I witnessed. When Pono went for a strike, DTP he ate it. You know what I'm saying? It was like nothing. That's what I was referring to for the most part. And he took it the wrong way and decided to get on Slap News after I got off and wanted to call me out, Mr. Boom, all this, weird ass shit. And, to me, it's just like, bro, don't block me and talk shit and then try to call me afterwards. There's nothing like, but don't call me, bro. Don't call me, bro, because I have nothing to say to you. And, it is what it is at the end of the day. Like, I don't, you came to me on that brother bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Season 3, I met him there. Ooh, I love you, brother this. He's doing that to everybody, bro. Stop. We just met you. We don't know you. Like, stop doing that. We're here to compete. We could be like that maybe after we fight. But I doubt it. Now, no, it's probably not gonna happen. But it's just like I just try to, I'm a solid individual, Corey, and I like to, for the most part, I like to lead with integrity. You know what I'm saying? I like to be a good human being, a good law-abiding citizen. I really firmly believe that. I don't do none of that fake stuff, bro, and I just stay away from it. And for him, I feel like he's mind fucking everybody for the most part. I feel like he's trying to spread out that love, brother to everybody, and everybody sees that. That's just fake phony, bro. I don't know you for you to come saying that you love me, bro. Like, stop doing that. The only way I said, bro, this and bro that, because he's been doing it to me, and it's like I feel like almost obligated to do that, and that was a fault on my part for doing that. But for the most
Mhm.
part, it's just fake. I don't like how he rocking. I was fucking with him from the beginning, bro. But when he showed out his true colors, no sir, you gotta go. And
Mhm.
and I felt like people see through that fake stuff. And he wants to, try to be extra, and I'm not with all that. And then you want to block me and then talk shit even more. Like, bro, that's not even my character to really, you know, talk shit to people and on social media. Like, bro, I got a phone, call me. But it's to the point where like now I don't even want to hear from you because what's said is said and what's done is done. So, you know, I ain't got nothing to say to him, to be honest. Like, if Erica gives me that contract, there's gonna be smoke on that stage, and I guarantee you I will have the last laugh.
Love it, my man. Appreciate you setting that record straight. So if Pono was the one on that contract, you'd sign on the dotted line?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm signing on that down the line with the quickness, and I hope he's ready because I'm gonna bring that dog, and I'm gonna show him why I've been saying we're gonna separate the wolves from the sheep because this bitch ass is next.
Mhm. Appreciate you, my man. One last one. We're gonna go on a lighter note. Oh, look at that. He took off. Awesome. Either way, appreciate Wes joining us on here. We had a ton of guests, obviously, throughout the entire show. Great having everybody on. Not sure if he meant to go off the way he did or not, but it was definitely dramatic for anybody. Anyways, you guys seen this? Check it out. Anyone in the comments know what pop culture is? Just nerding out for a second. But anyways, appreciate you all. Much love, much respect. Until next time, we're back. Same place, same time next week for episode number 55. Ray D, can you believe it? Episode number 55 of Smack Talk taking place next week, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 p.m. on the East. Take care, be good, and you know where to find us.